They wanted someone who was willing to manipulate you all and act a certain way. Don't get me wrong, Ben Shapiro, whatever his name, not Ben Shapiro, Josh Shapiro, he phony too. All of them are phony. They're all phony. Kamala's phony. This guy's phony. The other people she had to choose from are phony. They're all phony politicians. I need everyone to detox from corporate media. I need you to look at it with clear eyes. I need you to allow yourself to be yourself, right? Nothing wrong with you. But you are caught up in the matrix right now. Take a deep breath. Inhale. Hold it. Hold it. Exhale. Got to get that funk out of you, that corporate, the lies. I want you to watch this video, and I want you to be honest with yourself. Does this seem authentic and real to you? I'm serious, guys. I'm going to cut the music. Look at this guy. One more time, guys. One more time. This looks normal. This seems real. This seems like a genuine person here. Who gets that excited? I performed before. My crowd was not quite that big, but I've been on stage before. He's not putting it on to you. You don't think this is phony? This is just a regular guy. This is a regular, look at this. This is politics. Look at this. Look at him. Look at this. Look at this. Look at it. He's a character. That's not real, guys. That's how a 60-year-old man behaves. Really. That's normal. Or is that a manufacturer? He's playing a role. He's playing a role of a guy that's over the top, friendly, Mr. Buddy Buddy. All I'm saying is, check his basement. Yeah, that's the kind of guy you got to check his basement. Bring the dogs.
I'm a football coach at heart. And I'll tell you one thing I know for sure is, if you're going to take the time to draw up a playbook, you're damn sure going to use it.
I love what you have done with your life. You were coaching a high school football team that was winless.
Yes.
And you came in, and so they were clearly the underdogs. And what happened?
Yeah, it's a team, and I had great coaches with me, and we were friends, and we buckled down. And look, I was a fairly big school, but nobody wanted to play because they hadn't won. And this group of coaches said, first and foremost, we gotta build the team. We got to go out and find people. So we invited them in, and I'll be honest, the first year we did not score a touchdown until the last game of the year.
Oh, so now I get it. So every high school coach who gets a state championship that one time should be vice president. They should be one heartbeat away from being the president of the United States. They're one slip and fall away from being commander-in-chief. That must have been a hell of a year that he had. And why is this? Because he's an unnaturally older-looking guy who dresses like Ted Lasso for some reason. Or he looks like the Maytag repair guy who also works down at the GM lot trying to sell you used Ford Tauruses. That's why. And that makes him the everyday man. I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it, man.
Because some of you in here with no or gray hair like me can remember when Republicans actually stood for and talked about freedom. We know they're there. We know those are our relatives.
Tim Walz is there for one reason and one reason only. To give permission to Republicans who can't pronounce Kamala to come on over to aisle 16 and pick up a John Deere lawnmower and vote for Timmy. Because you never know.
You know, I think what people see in Kamala Harris is traditional values that we all look to, right? I mean, it's traditional values for America. It's the values of, protecting our individual freedoms, standing strong as America for America's democracy, standing strong with our allies internationally. I think those traditionally in the past, Joy, were I would say conservative.
Republicans ran on.
Yes, back in the day.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, it was incredible. And the stories and the conversation.
And Timmy was much more conservative when he was in the Senate. It wasn't until he got to Minnesota when he wanted to put tampons in the boys' bathroom that he really started to pick up steam on the whole progressive thing. He's always has his eyes set on something bigger, and he was already talking to Biden on the phone at this time. This was all strategy. That's how I see it. Because I don't trust politicians, even if they got a late start.
Democrat Congressman Dean Phillips was trying to make when he challenged Biden in the primary. You belittled his effort. You called it a political sideshow. You called it a crazy thing. But wasn't Dean Phillips actually right? Wasn't he bringing up an issue that was correct and you were on the wrong side of that?
Well, look, what I said was, as President Biden was delivering, I was the governor of a state that watched Donald Trump tell people to drink bleach when the Mayo Clinic was giving us good advice. Joe Biden followed that advice and saved people's lives. And I was watching Joe Biden deliver on every front. And I knew this man deeply. And the voters were there with him. They were saying he was there. And aging isn't a conspiracy. It simply happens. And last night, I'm sitting in the nook eating a Juicy Lucy. And who calls Joe Biden to say thanks to him for standing with me? That's the type of guy he is, and that's how I knew him. So look, I wasn't belittling Dean personally. I just thought, look, he's in the middle of dealing with these crises, and we're out here saying he's too old, he's doing this. He was doing the work. The day before the debate, he was on the phone with me for 20 minutes talking about the flooding up the Blue Earth River where you saw the dam on television.
Yes, by all means, let's all go off on Kamala and Walz. Meanwhile, they got nothing at all that they're offering Black Americans. Not a damn thing, except to watch the racial wealth gap get bigger while everyone does better than us. And we're supposed to sit back and just go, great, kumbaya time. At least everyone's smiling now.
When you were doing that whole intro, I'm getting goosebumps. And I have been since this community has been activated. There has been so much invigoration since the announcement of Harris, since the announcement of Walz, and it's really exciting. I had a real sense of doom about the fact that young voters and queer voters were not feeling represented enough to be incredibly involved. And
yes, Kamala will spend time with drag queens. That's a great reason for them to vote for. That's not a reason for me to vote for. Not at all. Or Timmy.
Recent poll of America's opinion of Governor Walz, 71% say they have no opinion. He's, as you were saying, he's virtually unknown as a political figure. That does present some concerns, I would think, inside the Democratic Party once I guess some of the hangover wears off and the excitement wears off a little bit and they have to get down to the nitty-gritty of campaigning.
Look, you've now got a 24, 48-hour window to define this guy. And you already know the Republicans are going to say, you know, he's far left, et cetera. But what he actually is something new. He's a positive populist. He's a populist. He's an up with the people guy. He's an everyday guy. He's not an elite. He's not a coastal elite at all.
Oh, so Tim Walz is a positive populist. Huh. That's a long way to say sellout. Let me just say it. Or things that are positively populist. Now, what he is a guy who decided he wanted to get into politics. He became a senator, beating out some guy who should have sat down long ago. And then he became a governor. Now he is a vice presidential running mate. And why is this? All because he uses the word weird to define MAGA. Well, Van, wait till he graduates to the term creepy. Then you can use some of that Bezos money and go out there and erect a monument to him right next to Abraham Lincoln. Be a nice statue of a Tim Walz sitting on his lawn sipping on some sweet tea while he's got still Team 6 on the phone about to do a raid on Putin's house because Putin called Kamala. And then Elie Mystal and Michael Eric Dyson and Keith Boykin literally passed kidney stones on live TV.
And to date,
more than 3 weeks in, Kamala Harris hasn't given a single interview. She hasn't come on your program. She's not answering questions.
It's
She's not
Kamala,
giving
first
speeches.
of all. It's not Kamala. It's Kamala. And she's not yet the candidate. She's only been in office, only been the candidate for 3.5 weeks.
She's been vice president for 3.5 years.
Yeah, and Trump went a whole primary season without even doing a debate.
And
So,
half
you
of
know,
America
But you can't what Donald Trump is doing as an autocrat, as a fascist, as a dictatorially inclined. Donald Trump is in a very vulnerable
Well, talk
position.
about rerun. Kamala's.
You had it right. You almost got it.
I will say Kamala's name any way that I want to.
No,
but
you mispronounce her and you also misjudge her.
All of this virtual signaling and all this nonsense ain't working.
I know you don't intend it to be that way. That's the history and legacy of white disregard for the humanity of black people.
Oh, so now you're calling me racist.
I didn't say. I just said you weren't a
BS.
racist.
That is complete
No, you don't
BS.
have to intend racism to
No.
accomplish
You are
it.
intending that I.
Look, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with being a positive person. Be a positive person. But I'm also positive that Tim Walz is an actor. And I'm positive that Kamala Harris is a fraud.
All right, I know you've heard these speeches, big order, optimistic or whatever. Well, I got to tell you, I will cop to being an eternal optimist. That's me. But I come by it honestly. I supervised the damn high school lunchroom for 20 years. You do not survive that job without being an optimist, I will guarantee you.
And that's why I'm not going to give up any type of votes. I ain't jumping on the happy train until I get a phone call from Mrs. Black saying the check cleared and that there's something on the table for Black Americans. Call me a killjoy if you want. And if I'm a killjoy because the Democrats' fake joy killed it.